It's good morning from Santa Monica, but it's good evening if you guys are in Europe, because it's time for some Counter-Strike. We've got a very interesting game of CS for you today, and here are the views from, well, our office isn't on the pier, but it's not too far away. We are just a few blocks away, a few blocks walk from the pier. We had some fires down the road yesterday, but they have been put out now by the fire brigade, so props to those guys for cleaning it up. It is 419 days since we could draw the map. And yesterday we had the Bears, but for the remainder of the week, we've got Monsieur Valence. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Welcome to the studio. Now, I owe you an apology. I've apologized before, but I think since you're in our studio now, okay, so like at the Boston Major, okay, I said that Valence was a chat moderator, but he wasn't a chat moderator. I'm a Pet was a chat moderator.
What's my name, James?
Your name is Valence.
What's my
Soham Chowdhury.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not the chat moderator.
Yeah. He's not the chat moderator. So I'm sorry, man. I made a
Apology
mistake.
accepted.
I'm not racist. I just want to
We
put
won the
it
major
out
for
there.
you. Apology accepted.
Awesome. Well, how was that experience for you?
It was great. I still can't remember all of it. I was just yelling a lot, and I heard you guys in the background. It was great.
It's got to be a career highlight for you, eh?
Absolutely.
So what did you all do afterwards?
I remember we got back. It was pretty late. We tried to find some place that was open late, got some food. The after party was going on that night. A lot of people came by, congratulated us. We congratulated ourselves.
I bet you did. Well, that's pretty awesome. We have some European Counter-Strike for you today. We'll talk more about Valence and his story a bit later on, but let's get through the meat and potatoes of the start of the show. Let's have a look at the bracket and see where we are, because we've had some European action so far this week. We had Astralis 2-0ing Mix. They had an overtime in their first map of the series, but they did manage to topple the upset machines Mix, who like the 2-0 teams, but not Astralis. Astralis said no. Virtus Pro lost to FaZe 2-0, and they'll be facing Astralis today. On the other side of the bracket, we had North losing to Big 2-0, which was an interesting one. And Heretics lost to Trick 2-0 as well. Big and Tricks will play tomorrow, but today, indeed, it is Astralis and FaZe. This is a juicy matchup. FaZe are looking promising with coldzera in tow. We saw some of them earlier this week, and again, we're going to see a lot of them right now. This is a pretty cool matchup. I think that... I don't know how much you've seen of FaZe. Have you been watching much CS since you hopped off the Cloud9 bus?
Yeah, you can't really stop watching CS once you're a CS fan, I feel.
Yeah, that's very much true. Well, I don't know if you've seen much of FaZe with their new roster.
I've seen them play. I mean, Cold is kind of coming back into form, right? That's a big news.
Yeah, he's been putting in work. He's been looking nasty.
Yeah.
For FaZe Clan, to put it quite simply. I think I was saying yesterday that I don't know if you agreed, Dan. I was saying yesterday that like with FaZe Clan before, when they were always in the finals and so on, I feel like you could never ever count them out of a game. And I feel like that kind of phase disappeared for a long time with different rosters we've seen, especially post Carrigan. But with coldzera on the team, I feel like that might be back.
Yeah, they're looking kind of comfortable with the identity that they've found right now. I think it was interesting before because obviously FaZe had so many issues and Guardian wasn't really the right fit for where the team was going, and it seemed like when you had Neo on the team to kind of take over the IGR role, Nico still couldn't quite find his kind of star power as we used to seeing in Nico of old. So they needed somebody that could be a superstar on the team, and it seems like Cold has actually taken that mantle, and he's kind of crazy at the moment. I didn't expect it, but it's working, so that's cool.
That is very cool indeed. Right then, Astralis versus FaZe. Let's have a look at the veto and see where these teams will be playing. Mirage has been taken out by Astralis. FaZe like themselves some Mirage, and Vertigo is taken out by FaZe. This all makes sense. We've got Nuke, Dust2, and Train as the series. This is where the battle will be fought. Nuke will be an interesting one for a new look FaZe clan. I think that's one of the ones which may take longer to kind of sink your teeth into with a new roster. What do you think of this? What do you think of Nuke as, like, adding players to a team? Do you think, like, if you had a tier list of the easier maps to start to absorb a new team and the harder maps, whereabouts would you put Nuke?
I think Nuke it's harder because CT rotations, communications, really you need to be on point, and international teams. For Astralis, it's going to be much easier, obviously, than FaZe. But if you don't have your comms down, it's going to get super chaotic. I'm sure you guys all played Pugs, right? We're trying to say they can be outside, they can be secret, and like no, they can be ramped, they can be door. You can't go down. So it's gonna be way easier for Astralis for sure.
Yeah, we have different problems in pugs, man. I don't know. I was streaming yesterday and I had a really bad time with some really annoying people. It was a bad time, man. But anyway, this is the series we have for us: Nuke, Dust 2, and Train. Moving to predictions, I can't pick against Astralis. I don't know if I've ever, in recent memory, picked against Astralis. That's why I got Diamond pick him at the major, baby. Crystal Club, let's go. So I got to pick Astralis, man. Astralis are my guys. You know, Zipex, the Clutch Minister. I have a gun dedicated. I've got like a Zipex cannon called Clutch Minister. I got to go with Astralis. I mean, they should win. At this point, they should be the better team with the deeper strats, the more complete team, so on and so forth. FaZe are still in a stage of development. So for me, it's a no-brainer to pick Astralis.
I mean, on this show, I always want to try to find a way to pick the underdog.
I respect that,
but I can't find a way that FaZe have an edge on
Cold Zero.
In this
They
map
have Cold
pool.
Zero.
Yeah, but the map pool, especially like opening.
Yeah, but they got Cold Zero.
Opening with Nuke is difficult, man.
But they got Cold Zero.
Yeah, but the issue is that Astralis is an extremely complete team. Like the fact that Mix obviously couldn't take a map off of them, yet they're taking maps off everybody else / beating everybody else. Obviously, they're a mixed team. It's kind of an absurdity, and it probably won't last very long. But
I don't think you're respecting the fact that they got Cold Zero.
That just shows how stable Astralis are in every facet of the game.
Okay, fair. Trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, no.
Where are you going with this one, Valens?
Nah, it's Astralis all the way. I mean, even Dust 2, it's a good pick for FaZe, but it's Astralis one of their best maps. So
okay,
tough.
Since it's your first time in our studio, I have to introduce you to Sliggy. He was known as the most toxic person in Source. He's also an observer and an in-game director. And he gets his prediction as well. So obviously he's a reformed character though, as Flan will tell you.
Sliggy, how are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm reformed down. I'm a nice guy, or at least I'll try and be. But yeah, I'm going to go Astralis as well. I just can't see it going any other way.
There we go.
They have many layers, James, like a chocolate cake.
Many people would say an onion, but chocolate cake, okay.
Yeah, chocolate gâteau.
Does FaZe got a map?
Does chocolate gâteau have many layers though? Isn't it just a big chocolate cake?
Depends how you make it. I guess there's.
Depends on it. I feel like excuses are being made
I've
here.
overextended into the world of.
I need to look at chocolate cakes now because I think he's lying. We need to look at the Pinnacle numbers, but first the people's numbers brought to you by Pinnacle. What do the people think? What do you guys think out there, man? Hashtag ECS8, baby. Ooh, okay. We've got the fan club. I mean, the FaZe logo's on the Manchester City Football Club jerseys, which is pretty crazy, man. They got that oil money. They got that oil money, Valens.
That's true. That's gonna help them get a map, you think?
That gasoline money, huh?
Do you think that's gonna help them get a map?
I don't know. maybe that like it's like the FaZe brand is like Earth, Wind, Fire, and what's that, Captain Planet, right? It's like it's gonna hulk up and
love, isn't it?
Put more work in.
Love.
Oh, is it love? Oh,
yeah, it's love. Jeez. This guy has the heart.
It sucks, man. That's not like real life, man.
He's like friends with all the animals.
All right. Let's see what the Pinnacle numbers are. We'll see whether reasonable people are. Pinnacle, it's their job to kind of make some accurate predictions here. They are putting FaZe as a heavy underdog. So if you believe in Cold Zero, like I believe in Cold Zero, even though I picked Astralis, yeah, but I still believe in Cold Zero. Okay, there's a possibility. There's a world.
There's 4 other guys, James. You got to believe in them too. They're a team.
Well, look, man. Cold Zero is in Serbia. He's living that life with Nico and Yanko. There's synergy. There's synergy there. That makes a hell of a difference because they're all going out and partying and having fun together. They're eating great food. Serbia's got fantastic food, man.
I don't think
Serbia's got that meat.
Like,
Serbia's got that protein.
How you judge whether they're going to win?
Look, man, it's how you become bros. Okay, the point is the synergy. Okay, yes, Cold Zero, but they're all going to be like a giant orb of fire. Okay, and it's just going to be a melting pot of Counter-Strike. So there's a possibility. So if you believe in that melting pot of Cold Zero and the Serbian boys, or the boys around Serbia, let's say, let's not go too specific. The numbers are there for you, man. It's almost 5. It's almost 5. 5 times like Booker T.
But usually don't you melt something down if it's useless?
Pardon?
And you want to repurpose it. Isn't that what the...
Technically, the Earth is a melting pot, yeah?
Is it though?
Yeah, it's got a molten core.
Yeah, but what's it melting? Other than the core.
Look, man.
Because we're fine.
If you go into the sea, you can see, is it fissures or whatever, where the hot stuff is coming out? We could like geysers.
I don't think fish come out of geysers.
Yeah, but fish live off them.
they live on top of
There's
them.
nutrients. They get nutrients from them.
It's a little ecosystem around
Things
the
live off them,
geysers.
man. We could be. This is very off topic. But before, like, I'm not letting you go this chocolate
James,
cake thing. You said loads of layers of a chocolate cake.
Anything, James. Like, this thing's living on your skin right now.
That's true.
Those little,
They're having a great time.
Little
They're having a great time.
No better place to be.
Look, this is okay. So I've got a picture of a chocolate cake. It says many layers of chocolate cake. I see 3 layers. This is not enough layers. By the way,
what about layer cake, James?
We'll get back to this in a second. These teams are fighting for a place at the finals. The finals are in Arlington, Texas at the end of November. ECS.FACEIT.com is where you can find those tickets. Get yourself some tickets. Get yourself onto LAN. Ooh, Device. My boy Device. He's got a classic knife out. He's part of the classic knife crew.
How much is the classic?
Big respect. I paid £400 for it.
400 for that one?
Yeah.
400
That's a good use of money.
Look, man. I've played this game for so long, I had to buy this knife. And I love it. It's awesome. And I got a hype beast it, man. I'm streaming every day, got a hype beast it.
£400.
Yeah. That's not including the £200 I spent on boxes at £8 a box before that. And got Mac 10s.
How much did you spend on the boxes?
Oh, that's BM.
You just bought the knife.
Huh?
How many boxes did you buy?
Oh, £200 of boxes and keys.
And then you just like.
And then I paid £400 for the knife.
Okay.
Yikes.
And then I paid £170 for the gold FAMAS.
So the boxes was
because
just,
even though they basically all look the same, I still had to get the low float right, so I paid a bit more than the cheapest one. But I did pay £5 for the 5.7. $5 for the 5.7. That was good. And I paid less than $2, I think, for the P250. So, you know, some things are bought cheap. Some things are very expensive.
You like what you like, James.
I do. I just can't. The problem is going to the box. I learned earlier, if I want the skin, buy the skin. Don't buy the box. But I couldn't, like... I think partly because it just came out, so, oh, let's open some cases, let's see what happens, you know. Everybody else opened a knife. Eamon in the back, he opened a Slaughter. A Slaughter classic knife. Meanwhile, I opened a commemorative FAMAS and a Mac 10. Alright then, Astralis will start on the CT side. All Kevlar, no diffuse kits necessary for them. FaZe Clan, 3 people with Kevlar. They've got double P250 raid boss. I love this. I'm a big fan of this. We haven't got the best to argue with here today. The P250s will both get taken out first, which is very unfortunate, but the range of the USPs is being abused, and there'll be no frags. I don't even know if I heard a Glock being fired in that round.
Lens, do you think the Glock is too good?
Is the Glock too good?
Mm-hmm.
You can run around with it and just not stop shooting. So yeah.
There you go, James. We've got the bears in the studio.
Look, man, the different guns have their different advantages, okay? The Glock range for a one-shot is potato versus... Did you know the P250 has a longer one-shot range in a pistol round than a USP?
Yeah, it would make sense.
It's pretty cool.
Because it's more powerful.
It's pretty cool. It's got armor penetration. There's the P250.
Will they get a kill this round?
So what do you think about P250s on the T side in a pistol round?
I think they're great. I mean, it used to be in the meta in all the way back from 1.6, right? You know, you drop a couple USPs. I think it makes sense. Some maps, you know, like this map, it makes sense, but you're doing some maybe in Mirage it makes sense. Some maps it could go better. Just like this round.
I think in many maps it makes sense. Maybe with the current Vertigo, do you know, even if you go towards the B bomb site, I think you could do with a P250.
When does it not make sense?
That's exactly. Yeah, I don't see it enough in these games. I don't see it enough. Some people are getting it though, but not everybody. Yes, Device. Yes. Where's the name tag though? Need a name tag. I called mine OG. The name tag sits on top of the knife as well, which
cool.
annoys some people. But I like that it annoys some people because it doesn't annoy me.
Yeah.
So
then you have an advantage.
It makes it even better. Yeah, makes it even better.
You think you should be able to drop knives?
No, I think that'll get too messy and take away from the main focus of the game. So, I don't think it's necessary.
I think you should be able to throw knives like Soldier of Fortune.
You can throw knives in danger zone.
Can you?
Yeah.
What? Like, they do damage?
Yeah. You can throw a knife or an axe at someone.
Oh.
And frag
awesome.
them with it.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I always forget though, or I hold the right click button and don't release it, and I'm just standing there. So it always ends in disaster for me.
I did not know that.
Like most games, I think.
Well, FaZe looking for some damage here. They've managed to get 2 kills.
That's a 250 kill.
There's a PD50.
Marvelous.
Splash. And I think that's
Ooh.
it's a really. I mean, this is a really good result here. 2 kills is pretty good.
Smart from Rain. He used the Deagle to cover his drop from the silo. The loud sound of the Deagle. See, I can confirm, Dan, that your multiple layers like a chocolate cake is complete nonsense. And I would suggest that you buy a chocolate cake to confirm this yourself.
But doesn't it depend how you make the chocolate cake? You can just
No,
make
you
it
can't
with
add
those
an
layers.
asterisk, man. Just Google images. You'll see that it's nonsense. It's just full of chocolate. Just one big chunk of chocolate. Chunks of chocolate there.
Really fast outside smokes here from FaZe, and Nico making the running sounds if there was anybody in the garage. He's trying to bait out rotations early on in this one, and Device is down there with the AWP, so what is the plan here for FaZe? Smokes have gone, and Astralis is not moving a muscle really at this point. Was that CT smoking squeaky? I think it was.
Nobody giving any
It was a
sound
bit
cues,
too
really.
deep otherwise.
Got FaZe setting up outside. Rookie with the main smoke, or mini smoke, for the Americans. Oh, Glaive will have to move elsewhere. Does he see the barrel of the gun? He does. Easy spray down for Rain. No one in position to trade. The HE could be nice, but the spray's even better. Glaive denies Brokey as well. Repositions. Knows he's going to be looked for. So he's making a forward play, but coldzera has a better angle. There's the opening frag for FaZe, but it's a 4 versus 2 now with 35 seconds on the clock. Bomb collected by Olaf Meister. So when coldzera comes off that last box, he releases crouch when he starts falling, so as not to give a sound cue when he hits the floor. Try that at home, people. 2v4. There we go. Finally another engagement, but it will be lost. Olaf Meister opens the door, and all is known. The AWP is creeping, and Device will take out the last player. 4 survive for Astralis. A very strong start to Nuke.
That round was odd because they used the outside smokes and they didn't do much with it, and they had 2 smokes left. I think Olaf had the last one left, but he was nowhere near to help them utilize it. So they're just taking 1-by-1 battles outside, and Glaive owns outside.
It seemed really weird. Like they didn't have a plan, or like it was a very half-baked plan, and
Looks
they
like
kind of
they
had the what now moment. And that's kind of not very encouraging in your first buy round on the T side.
It looks like they were expecting like a curious response from Astralis, but again, when that doesn't come in, then it can become awkward for a T side, and they're trying to make it awkward on the A bomb side, but they are too well equipped, too well positioned, Astralis. The HE grenade adding some meat in main, leaving coldzera with 20 HP. Olaf Meister creeping again, just waiting for the CTs to give them something, a bone to bite on. Olaf down to 24. And it's only going to get worse for him. He'll fall to the flames, which is will minimize the kill bonus for Astralis. We have seen previously on Inferno people just run into a Molotov and die to stop the CTs making loads of money.
Okay, James.
Yes, Dan.
So Astralis are a layer cake, and FaZe are a chocolate cake.
Okay, and but how are you classing your tier of cakes, Dan?
Well, one is layers.
Okay.
So they're cakes.
So you're saying that FaZe have no layers now. So you've gone back, you've
But they're-
completely
but they're
180 on your
delicious
chocolate
cakes.
cake.
Pure and delicious.
Who's
So-
wearing the chainmail though?
So it tastes nice. Okay, I don't even know. I'll leave you to explain your cake analogies.
Chocolate gâteau. Well, we've got the buy rounds back in action for FaZe. The Kriegs are out and hoping to see more of a plan in this round than the previous buy round that we saw. And so we've got the usual harassment around Squeaky, but they don't have outside control yet, so it's a bit slower on those smokes, perhaps. Moving back now to throw the outside smokes. Currently, looks like Device is on the stairs in secret, so he's going to be able to confirm what's going on around this position. Now, how does he choose to play this spot? Teammate can flash for him, and he actually manages to nail Nico pushing forwards, and Zipex understands what's going on here as well. The flashing ahead of the push, able to get plenty of time to rotate there as well. So Astralis really controlling this situation extremely well.
We're not seeing so many teams continue to use the AUG after its nerf, but Astralis are definitely fancying it to hold these choke points on Nuke at least. The scope will be heard. Scope in, scope out with the pre-Gordy org, and makes an audible. Zipex looking for the last. Rain in a 1 versus 3. 20 seconds to plant the bomb. There's the spray. Can't quite hit the mark.
Denied.
Device down to, I think he hit Device once actually.
Yeah.
Down to 3 HP. But it's a 6-0 for Astralis. This is the pick of Astralis, and I don't think this is too surprising just yet.
I think this is, what Lenz was talking about before, about CT rotations. Astralis are just doing the basics really well here, but the thing is as well is that FaZe aren't really forcing them into anything that's uncomfortable. They're just allowing, like they're just moving in a way where Astralis always have plenty of time. Like Zipex was super comfortable in his rotation out of ramp.
It almost seems like FaZe is hoping that they get map control rather than going out and taking it.
Yeah.
Nico's kind of going across secret and across red kind of by himself. And, hopefully they're talking about how to change that up. They need to apply some pressure, like you said. And if you were following the radar, I mean, Mag just started rotating hell as soon as Device was even going for the peak. Not even a kill. So their rotations are on point.
That's a really good way to put it, actually, just hoping that they get it as opposed to forcing the issue. I think that's the thing with Danish teams, which I think is so awesome as well. They always have such a, talking about layers, multi-phase plan in a round in which, how they focus as a team to take map control and just force the action in that sense. So back on the pistols for FaZe, looking for some damage. Bomb plant's pretty unlikely, but yikes, big gap. Shoot through the smoke Device.
That's a huge gap. Oh, it's going to be money! That'll certainly help the proceedings. Some more tagging from the last player as well.
They're being herded.
That's a deep molly by the stairs. Zipex only good for 1 though. The numbers overwhelming him, and that's a rifle for the FaZe clan. But Device with the P250, the CZ75.
Imagine.
We'll leave Rain alone. He's still got the M4A4. Zipex is Howl, trying to do what he can. 50 HP. He has full armor, which is always a bonus. And all the sound goes quiet. The door is closed, so there's only so much he can do. 2 players creeping down the ramp. He is relatively contained. If they know he's in control, never mind, they see him in the back. And down he goes. 2 kills for FaZe in that round. They haven't planted a bomb a single time just yet, which gives you an indicator of the limitations of their success.
Small detail, but because Astralis put out one of the smokes outside, they used the 3rd smoke FaZe did instead of having one for lore. So that would have been the bomb plant. They were on control for a while. They could have right-clicked the smoke and get the bomb down, but they had to use the 3rd one just across.
Olofmeister, Brokey, and Nico have a combined 0 kills and 21 deaths. Only Rain and Cold Zero have fragged in 7 rounds.
James, you know how much of a fan of the P250 you are?
Yeah.
Do you remember when the CZ had P250 bullets?
I do. I remember when, the CZ at close range was stronger than a FAMAS. That's nuts, isn't it?
The bullets do more damage. I think they adjusted it, but now so it's basically about the same.
That was so crazy. Why buy a FAMAS when you can buy a CZ?
Well, here we have Magisk trying to control things around. He's going to get 1 kill to spray through as well, and the uptake seems to be much more successful here for FaZe so far. This change of pace is looking good. Retaking this bomb site, it just feels impossible when there's this many T's alive and they have any amount of post-plant utility. But Astralis, they've got a lot of money.
Olofmeister's got a kill. Welcome to the scoreboard. Brokey and Nico.
It's so weird to
Not there yet.
see Nico just not having just an insane individual performances anymore. It's just very strange to see that his rating, his focus has changed so much on the server.
Well, if when you got Cold Zero to pick up the slack, it could be worse.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's I think obviously you have a bunch of players that can AWP if you need it. Like Nico as well, was super sick with an AWP. I thought for a small period of time that he might decide if if it was a case of Guardian left, that he would be the kind of AWP IGL, would be an interesting dynamic for the team, but they haven't obviously gone with that. But
yesterday I saw they were double opping Nico and Cold on Dust 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see that in the next map. Their pick is Dust 2, and it's the 2nd map. This is the first for Astralis. We expect it to be strong for Astralis. Obviously, the pinnacle odds getting worse for FaZe as the rounds continue, but they have got their first round on the board, and maybe there's some momentum to be had behind that.
This is much better. They're actually pressuring the map a little bit. Last round, they also did an upper take, but didn't commit right away, right? They kind of saw if Astralis made mistakes, and they did. Astralis got a little bit lazy.
Ooh, that's one in the face for Olofmeister. Not comfortable position for him. 1 minute 15, Astralis waiting for FaZe, who are being patient, but they're in a 4 versus 5. Rain with 16 HP, won't be easy for him. 4 Kriegs on deck. Got a variation of these smokes outside. One inside garage. Oh, one has failed. So they're trying to smoke off. Yeah, it doesn't seem like Nuke is the one for FaZe at the moment. I think that much is clear with the issues that we're seeing. But they still have a puncher's chance.
They were surprisingly good at Nuke when Carrigan joined the team. Obviously, it was a long time ago, but since Carrigan left, it has been a bit more difficult, it seems.
Yeah, losing Carrigan was... yeah, I think for a lot of people, me included, it was not the solution. I don't know if you have an opinion on that.
Yeah, I don't think it was. They're really close to being super consistent, always getting either top 2 or winning, and they had that one bad result at the major that they really should have won against us, but I think they probably would have won the next one.
that one bad result.
Sorry, Carrigan.
Oh man, that kills me. That one bad result, that match that happened at some stage of the major.
Yes, again, last round, FaZe threw those outside smokes. They threw like 2 or 3 mollies because they missed a couple, and they didn't get much control. And this big garage smoke faded, then they hit ramp. They used all that utility just to get ramp control, which isn't a bomb site, and they're just chilling. They're waiting for Astralis to make a mistake. I think you have to play Nuke a little bit more aggressively as a T nowadays.
Yeah, it's just like a different tier of opposition. Might have to hold that for a second as we do have Olofmeister behind the vents. But against a team like the level of Astralis, you have to force mistakes, as opposed to what the style, as you mentioned, FaZe are playing, where you're waiting for unforced errors. Astralis is not going to make many of those. You cannot have your game plan around that.
Olofmeister trying to force the action. Very vulnerable position. Was exploited by the CTs. Great peek from Glaive. Continues to be one of the more dangerous IGLs in the game.
That's 2 times that FaZe have lost that 1v1. I think Olofmeister before that, and it's like the M4 versus the Krieg each time, which doesn't make sense. But it's basically a pre-fire spot anyway. If you're a CT, it's just a tiny angle. You know, it's easy. You have the advantage if you peek into it.
51 seconds on the clock.
3 players, 3 Molotovs. Off angle here for Glaive. Oh, what a lineup. That is not good.
How was he there? He was just mini.
I don't know, man.
That's great. That's crazy, isn't it? I don't know if that was a AWP rotation or what, but Glaive is everywhere. He's a thorn in the side. He has the keys to the city. He's got the lay of the land. He walks the sheep over the bridge.
He gets to kill Mini and then he teleports around.
The next highlight is just he's the ramp player now.
Brilliant.
That's like one of those things where like he can just become any one of the players, just like he's Agent Smith or something.
I would love to get some insight into how communication works in Astralis in the game. Is it Glaive just saying where he's going to go and other people kind of filling, right? Which obviously takes a lot of individual decision-making power on the rest of Astralis as well, right? So I would be really curious to hear.
Yeah, one thing is just that they all think, from a theory perspective, they all have exactly the same outlook on the game. That's really such an important thing, having everybody understand the game in the same way, so you don't have to communicate how to interpret something, people just understands.
Well, yeah, it's relevant to Cloud9's recent changes, but maybe time to talk about it later, because just got a straight up rush of the ramp position at the very least. Now, what can I expect? Trying to use the numbers, maybe? No. Just one drop, some information. Device forced from his angle, but Dupree's here to try and clean up. Device trying to fall back. He'll get caught opening the doors. Man advantage for FaZe as they look to get their second round. Astralis won all their rounds by elimination, one by timeout. See if Astralis can get something out of this. That smoke will be quite the deterrent, and I do wonder if that will make them consider their options. They have a lot of money now, but that can quickly disappear, and there are quite a few rounds left in that respect. So it seems they will fall back, and FaZe will win another round by detonation.
Makes a big difference to some of these saves. Like, there is a world where I think a lot of teams might try to go for this in a 2v3. Got kits, you got a couple Molotovs. You know, see, or at least I'll try to see, oh, can we get that first kill and make it a 2v2? And then one player will die, the other player might be a bit committed, or he's half committed, so he would maybe not even have been in a position to make the play anyway, if there was a kill. Like, it's, but Astralis is just like, yeah, we're just gonna save the money, and that really adds up.
9-2, or 2-9 rather.
Spacing looked better. They hit ramp pretty fast. Obviously, that's kind of a gimmick, but spacing on the trays were a little bit better. And I think they probably have to keep it simple like that right now. You know, just focus on the trades, try to get at least 2 more rounds.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a salvageable half.
Work the basics. What do you mean the taking ramp is a gimmick?
I think the way they took ramp,
Okay.
I think was a gimmick. Yeah,
Okay.
because they just rushed it.
Okay,
Yeah, not something you can reliably replicate.
Yeah, anything that's not sustainable, and you know, you might catch that guy off one time, but you know, ramp is not a bomb site.
Gotcha.
Xyp9x knows better. He's gonna drop next time. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those gimmick rounds in the late stage can break an entire game if they happen at the right time and there's no money left afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's desperate times for FaZe. That's only their second round on Nuke. The money's still reasonable for Astralis, all things considered. 4 Kriegs in the UMP, despite winning the round, they're in a rough spot. That's interesting that Cold Zero wants to go with the UMP, but maybe it's because they're looking to make a fast play into the A bomb site. Otherwise, I don't think it has any utility in comparison. He swings super wide, gets taken out by Device, but they have the information of the locations. Trades on the A bomb site. Device in a really tight spot, can't deliver that second frag. Down to a 2 versus 2. Olofmeister gets a ding dong from Xyp9x and Glaive, respectively. In reverse. There's the last kill for Astralis. They survive with 2. As long as they survive, they make it to double figures. 10-2 now for Astralis.
Another spot where FaZe probably feel like, yeah, we've got to just play really fast, try to get into the upper bomb side. That's what they had. That's the first round that they won. That was what was successful. If I remember correctly, they just got into upper very quickly. Astralis was slightly out of position with that timing. But again, not really replicable, not really seeing those defaults, not really seeing reliable ways to take map control. Just going aggressive. Speaking of, you know, gimmick, perhaps we have a switch here for Astralis to try to throw a wrench into the works, but this actually kind of helps FaZe, gives them an opportunity to get a kill. So
Cold Zero's been holding that angle in multiple rounds. Finally pays off.
just looking for it.
Device really, he's such a good player to watch demos of in terms of sniping because he's just absorbed all the angles. He's really the Shang Tsung in terms of snipers. Taking the souls of all the other ones.
He's just a player that he's a perfect AWPer to try to look at what he's doing and just like everything from the movement to the timings and just like kind of reverse engineer it and be like, okay, why is he doing this? Because there's always a reason for literally everything he's doing. It's like much like Xyp9x, always going to try to make the best decision. He's got the right amount of risk with the right amount of knowing when not to take a risk. It's just fantastic to watch.
Speaking of gimmicks.
That is, I don't think I've seen this one before.
No.
Just up on the little railing there, and that's good for 2 kills. Glaive and smokes.
Yeah, I have to make a little clip of that.
Yeah, it would be cool to see what it looked like from the T perspective. But we saw that the tail end of that, and it looked like it covered Glaive pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that out tonight in a plug.
So I was talking to, because we were talking about smokes and like, you know, when you're sitting in a smoke or like if you're above the smoke and it's disappearing, like, you know what's going on. And Sliggy was explaining to me, James, that if you're sitting dead center in a smoke and the smoke is, when it's actually dissipating, you actually get a one-way in any direction in that moment that it's disappearing.
If you're inside the smoke.
If you're inside the smoke.
Oh, really?
Yep. So that's why you're seeing people sitting in smokes. Inside smokes like that.
Oh my
nice
God.
catch from Rain. And they, again, it's just this fast upper aggression. It's the only thing that's really been successful for them, just brawling out of this bomb site. And Zipex will take down Baroki, giving Astralis a good chance here. 2 versus 2. The bomb is going to have to be planted, so that buys a lot of time for the Danes to move around and decide how they want to coordinate this retake. And for FaZe, it's interesting because they have so much time, they don't actually have to go for the upper plan. They may feel like they're too exposed, and maybe they want for more information first. And it looks like that's exactly what they're up to. Looking for some information, going back into lobby, seeing if they can get a 2v1, or maybe even just get their way to another bomb plant at the same time. And here is a 2v1. And now they can go back to upper there if they want, down to lower. So it's a smart move.
Well, they're splitting up. One will give sound cues while the other heads towards the A-bomb side, expecting rotation perhaps. Nico has decided to abandon the B play, 37 seconds, and Device may start to wonder. But he will have lost all position now. Coming out of the vent is less than ideal, and he needs to go up before Nico gets to heaven. There's the clue. Up he goes. Got to check the heaven position. Squeezes out just in time. HE round the back and Rain's on 20. Can they get a double peek in? There's a jump peek from Rain. The Molotov, but where's the second player? He's got to realize the possibilities. Oh, he could peek heaven from here. Oh, through the gap. That's beautiful from Device, but where is Nico? He hasn't shown his face just yet. Hiding deep in heaven, but Device seems to have an idea. Nico with the deep peek, and there's a spray down from Device.
Wow.
A beautiful 1 versus 2, elevating, looking through the gap and punishing. He just knows too much. Shang Tsung is on the server.
I didn't know about that little gap, actually, from that position. Just didn't know about that.
It's so cool to just watch the gears turn, you know? He's through the molly, no one went to the left, he has to be beyond the molly, and he just process of elimination.
So methodical.
Brilliant. Last round of the first half, 12-2-2. It is almost all Astralis at present. Last-ditch effort from FaZe. Maybe trying to suggest a rush into the A bomb site while players are outside. Swinging without the smoke grenades, trying to catch the CTs off guard. They'll be seen, but they're alive, and that is a plus because that hasn't been the case in many cases. At minute 30, Rain will engage a CT beyond the secret position. Now what is the next stage for FaZe? Taking one in the chest from Magisk is apparently that. He'll get traded by Lofmeister, and now we've got an advantage for FaZe finally.
Indeed, but it is Astralis, after all. They had an advantage at the end of the last round, so Lofmeister will take down one more, but the trade comes through for the 2v3. The bomb still needs to be planted. It's currently outside. So again, still time for Astralis to find a way back into this one. The FaZe will coordinate themselves down secret together. And sticking as 3 like this, there'll certainly be a shorter trade. And in this kind of a situation, that's definitely a good rule of thumb. You stay together, you have good spacing, you can trade the CTs or should be able to. Astralis seem to have worked out what's going on, or at least Zipex is investigating. Oh, that is quite a good timing. Instant headshot from Zipex.
Smoke up to potentially create the plant the bomb. One tap onto Zipex. Alive with 44 HP though. Looking through the flames, somehow sees Cold Zero, and then it's just down to Brokey. 1 versus 2. He knows where Zipex is now. He's taken out Dupree. Zipex creeping by the rail. Smoke has come and gone. Does he go for the hero defuse? Looks like he is going to go for it. Brokey opens the door, closes the door, gets him off the bomb, opens up, and is going to get shot. And there's 13 rounds for Astralis. 13-2 at halftime. A monstrous start from Astralis. We expected strength, but maybe not this complete strong style. We'll see if FaZe can bring it back after the break.
your game. 128 servers for the smoothest, most responsive gaming experience ever. Ensure you game seamlessly with our state-of-the-art FACEIT anti-cheat. Track your progress with advanced stats within your community, country, or region. This is the true ranked experience. Sign up now at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
And we're back a little early. The unpause came in a little early, but that's fine. It means more counter-strikes sooner, which is all good in the hood. FaZe Clan started their CT side with 2 rounds on Nuke. Rain will have the... Huh?
Is this doable?
I think so. Is it likely? No. But is it doable? It is doable. But it's a small percentage doable. Rain has a CZ75. I like a CZ or a 5-7 on a CT player who's in a position which there's a fair chance is going to get rushed. Cold Zurich gets blasted down to 2 HP. We've got a P250 for Device. He's been made by the raid boss by Glaive. P250 crew. FaZe and Astralis can join. The door is open. The door might be closed for FaZe in this game because they've lost 2 players with no response. There's 500 HP on Astralis. Cold with 2 HP. Astralis taking it slow. Device is that clean P250. I just bought an Asimov M4 again. Very nice example. Crab walking Device. He's got info. They know where Olaf Meister is, and there's a play from the Heaven position. There are the trades for Astralis. Device is basically the information man. As soon as he realizes where the player is on 8, there's a 2-man swing from Heaven and a punish. And just like that, it's 14-2.
I love how good Astralis are. I'm still thinking about the clutch the Zipix one, because he's effectively a 1 versus 3, and he just picks up just each kill, just one after the other. I actually don't know how he saw through the Molotov, thinking about it.
You sound surprised that he won around that.
Well, it's just that he
He's the clutch
like
minister.
20 HP, and he's just winning. It's not even that they're even dueling back against him. He's just finding the kills.
He's a clutch minister, man. This is why he's always the go-to pick when Astralis play. Always.
Yeah.
Don't mind to start adding Device.
Well, it's going to be difficult for FaZe.
Ooh, that's a next level stereo frag.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's going to be difficult to recover from that. Nice pick from Nico. And, well, you know, Device is left still. He's got a Krieg. Do you think you can do it, James?
On Nuke? That's a tough ask.
Is it?
I think it is.
He's got a Krieg.
Yeah, I know, but...
Same as Device.
There are 4 people alive on the CT side.
Ooh.
Too many angles, too many man. Dupree with 2 HP. What does he do now? Does he stand there for 1 minute? Looks like he does. I mean, all he can do really is gift a rifle to his opponent.
Looks nice.
I wonder how much they will move in this situation, because there are weapons to be collected by FaZe, but they have no idea where Dupree is. He could be protecting a rifle. He could be heading towards the bomb. So someone's got to cover the objective for a while. It's all the bounty outside. We'll see. I mean, they can risk 1 person, but like sub 20-second mark while the bomb's still being watched.
Dan, if this is you, and you have 2 HP, you hear them running for you, do you throw away your AK before you die?
Yeah.
I
actually was surprised he didn't throw away straight away, actually. Obviously, he wants to get some kills and stuff like that, but with 2 HP... You know, it's very unlikely you can do too much.
There are some nice hiding spots. I guess like this one.
So again, sub 20 second mark, they do indeed go on a collecting spree. They pick up the 2 Kriegs. This is a disaster for Astralis. That looks so sick. Those 2 kills coming in exactly the same time. Nico wilding out with the Deagle outside. It's a lovely flick from Olofmeister. They're warming up now, FaZe. They have the luxury of the CT side angles, and they've taken some very strong Kriegs away. Now, if they can abuse the CT angles with these Kriegs, then rounds can be collected. Okay, Yanko's timed out, so there'll be a brief pause. I was going to ask you a question, Valence, but I don't know what it was.
Do you like New Cash?
I played it a few times. I like it. The common complaint, it is
FPS?
super green.
Oh, okay.
You know.
It is very green, isn't it? Almost to the point where it feels color cast.
Yeah.
But it's
It was
not
made
color
for
cast, but
Hiko,
it feels
I feel.
there's a lot of green.
You know.
It's made for what?
Hiko.
Eco.
Yeah, it's his favorite color.
My favorite color as well, but like not necessarily in that implementation. I made a feedback video for FM Pony. He sent me a copy before it was released. One thing that he changed for me was you know, in mid when you jump on the roller shutter above the T entrance to mid.
Yeah.
If you're standing on that and you're looking at the boost spot, there's this thing which sticks out the wall to stop you jumping onto the boost. But the way it was implemented obscured a lot of your vision when you were fighting people. So most of that has been taken away now, and it's just a bar at the top, which is great. But I did think there's a lot of green going on, and I don't know that there needs to be so much green. So, but that's probably quite laborious to change, because I thought there are some places, like I think in T-Spawn you've got those big slabs, those like concrete slabs or whatever, and there's a little growth in between them and so on. But in mid there's just like a lot of overgrowth, which is just too much.
What digital vibrancy
doesn't need to be, huh?
What digital vibrancy are you playing at, both of you?
I think mine is about 65 to 70%. Normally I play 80%, but I don't know why it's different.
What are you?
I use 100 in game.
Okay, that's gonna make it a lot worse, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I use like 75. It's definitely green, very green for me, but I'm cool with it.
I'm thinking like, will I get used to it? I'm thinking it is a lot of green, but even if you go towards B, before you start going on the inside, like the gate on the left had like a toxic green color, but the green looks like a brand new versus everything else, which was rustic.
Well,
I even commented on that, but that's changed now.
It's another issue with just having a super old engine, James. Like there would be loads of in-game solutions for that, for the colors and everything else. But the fact that we have to use like a graphics card setting in Windows is definitely a bad sign. It's Source Engine 2005, 2019. I'm telling you, James, that's what that counter should be. Days since the new engine for Counter-Strike. Been 15 years almost. Demo player is, I don't know, man. How do you even describe it?
About that.
It's so bad.
I'm salty about that.
Dude,
for
it
sure.
makes it so hard for people to watch demos. It's just so annoying. Please fix it. Please, Valve. Fix the demo player.
Not before the map.
I think it's more important than the map.
No, nothing's more important. Because we can communicate with the people out there, with the people with less knowledge. It's like Sean Grills. Hey guys, Sean here. Can't explain strategy to people on YouTube because he can't draw on the map. It renders him useless as a human being. Outside of the dad role, obviously.
Well, I mean, also there's the argument to that. Like, I know, for me, like I watch less demos because it's so difficult to do it. And if demos were extremely easy to watch, let's say you go onto a website, let's say you go to HLTV and you just press one button, it opens up in the game instantly, and all the tools work. Then you can just suddenly watch any demo, any POV within like 15 seconds. That's
And it's not that hard to watch demos. You sound lazy.
Dude, have you tried to go back in a demo? Have you tried to like skip in a demo? Have you tried to do anything in a demo, James?
Yeah, I do videos demos all the time. If you're just watching a demo, just sit there and watch it.
Like drag a file into a folder and stuff. You just never experienced games where it's easy to do it.
Going back is awful. Yeah.
You just need to experience a modern game, James.
I do hope they make it easier because more players would
Exactly.
watch demos and have less excuses not to. Try to minimize excuses.
Players being lazy is a weird one, but I guess that's like, I know sometimes you're not motivated in your job, right? It's like any job.
Yeah.
But when your hobby is your job, I know I feel like you should get some extra motivation, but maybe the sheer volume of CS that people are playing, maybe they just want to watch.
When your hobby is your job, I feel like if you're not having fun, you're kind of salty. So you're less motivated because you're like, this is supposed to be fun.
Yeah. The other thing too about the demos and people watching the demos is that for the reason why people don't watch demos, there's like two reasons. One is it's really, really difficult, and secondly, it's that they don't understand where the value is. If you understand that, but in watching a demo, I can get something that's going to massively improve my performance, you're definitely going to do it. But people don't know how to read the game and so on and so forth. So that's part of the problem. But they have to also overcome the sheer inconvenience that you're presented with the Super Bowl demo player. So
Okay, 14-5. The second half has started. Both teams on a good buy now, and Astralis looking to end this one quickly. Deep flashbang through the hut. Down goes Rain. Look at the peak. Cold Zero swings, and he's facing practically everyone. He's facing the nation of Denmark. The bomb is planted, and Olofmeister has the wrong angle. Not expected the bomb to be planted for heaven, essentially. There's a slow flank coming in from Astralis as well. The smoke is up. Nico's on the outside, wondering what he could do at this point. And what can they do? Astralis have exploited them. They've imposed their will. They've taken what they want. They've pillaged. And all FaZe can do is stand and watch. Brokey running, trying to catch up. I'm surprised you got that one. Maybe there was a sensor device was there. Still feeling like they're going to go for it. Olofmeister has ankles on the bomb, and Nico's got a great angle. He's cutting them to pieces. Someone's got to get on the bomb. No, Magic does not have the angle. He's got to run for it. 3, 2, 1. He's got to make it. Oh, he's gone too far. He's right in front of him, but he can't see because of the smoke. FaZe have stolen round number 20 from Astralis.
they took a lot of damage though, so that's going to be pretty impactful. See all the money.
Nico had 13k, man.
He did have 13k. That's true. But that's why it's also so important, is because it really helps to diminish those reserves.
Astralis got lazy halfway through that retake. Device started walking in, got caught, and they just expected them to be saving, it looked like.
Foot off the pedal. Now it's a warp in the chest. Wolfmeister rotates immediately. Spotted outside. Dupree fishing for something. Got to be careful though. 1T's made his way down to secret. Glaive is barely alive, but we know what a problem he can be if he's alive. Apex poking and prodding. Nico doing the same. Lots of activity on Nuke.
Yeah, so it's yeah, full rotation coming in from the Astralis team. We do have the bomb lower. See Zipex working. He's alone. Always feels scary when you're alone with the bomb, and he's about to walk into a position that Nico's holding. He's actually going to get the info, take no damage. It's a pretty good result. But however, Nico did see the bomb, which is kind of the problem. We'll see how that impacts things. I mean, Astralis know that very fact. And FaZe, oh, Olofmeister's investigating. And Zipex was watching for another pinch. Cold Zero is going to get sandwiched, surely. He will take him down in the trade. Brokey's there for Zipex. That's the bomb down outside, which Brokey will see. He'll have a new vantage point to try to cover it from. Although it looks like Magic will beat him to the punch. Going for the plant 2v2. A really huge round here.
Glaive's still alive. He's holding down 2 jobs. He's got the vent and main to look at. There's a crouch pick from Nico. He's done damage, but he couldn't quite hit a fatal connection. Magic will try to engage before the 2v1 comes into play. Up top, falling to the bottom will be Brokey, and it's game point for Astralis. We'll make sure they are actually dead, and indeed they are. But look at the money. Device has got 3,300. He will be dropped the Krieg. They will have to spread the wealth in round 22.
I think that was a great example of Astralis used some smokes outside. They got secret control, but they didn't just stop there. Glaive went down with the bomb, showed himself, and that's what causes rotations, right? It wasn't just Nico crossing and just kind of waiting. Glaive went down, showed presence, showed the bomb, then the ramp guys totally off, and they can just walk out ramp.
You get rotations. Hashtag rotations. Nico outside again. We saw some solid action from one of these rounds prior with the Beagle Scout combo. bit more firepower behind FaZe's defense this time, but how much risk are they going to take? Looks like they'll avoid the outside position. Nico rotating in towards the vent. He can make sure that he can cover the lower once more. Nico is seeing that there's not actually anybody here just yet. Big advantage there, able to see the feats of Glaive. Well, but what does it mean, James?
Broky's playing off Olofmeister's angle. The flash will force him from his position. Still get a kill though. And he will reset. This is awkward now for Broky, but Olofmeister still has an angle. Starting to wonder about the outside. Magic swings, and FaZe are not done with this game just yet, it seems. There's the opening kill for Astralis, but there's only 2 players left, so Dupree's got to play off of Xipex's frag. Xipex is the known, Dupree is the unknown. Rotations down to the lower area now. Too high, too low for FaZe. Dupree trying to figure out where the CTs might be. Makes his way around, clears the A bomb site. There's got to be someone here somewhere though. Looking towards Squeaky now. There's Cold. And then there was Xipex. Makes his way. He's got information as to where Cold is. You may hear some rotation. Rain creeping up the ladder. The door is closed. That's a huge problem. With 9 seconds on the clock, he has run out of options, Xipex. And he must walk away. He must leave this place.
Yes. FaZe doing pretty good on their CT side. Imagine if they had a better CT side. And it feels like there's so many things that they were lacking on that T side. So many things that can be fixed very easily as well.
Astralis ran into that weird timing issue last round where their outside lurker died, but the ramp guys weren't quite ready to go out. So they have 2 options: just speed it up ramp, which is kind of what they tried, or reset and like send a guy back outside, re-clear it, and you know, just didn't work out going faster that round.
Fast moving round outside. The smokes land just in time for the cross. That's pretty beautiful to watch. Grenade aesthetics. Nico will show some presence, but nobody cares. They're going to continue moving down. That's a very interesting fight. Glaive with the CZ. Broky takes control of control, trying to hold it down with the incendiary. They're swinging onto the site, and he's going to get 2. Looking for the 3rd. He's going to land that as well. It is a wipeout. Only 1 player lost for FaZe Clan, and they make it to 8.
Wouldn't be surprised to see like an upper set piece or something coming in from Astralis soon. Something faster. They've been trying to go for those slower plays. I guess they have been bursting though.
That was a fast round right there.
Yeah. FaZe seems to be down to just rotate off of upper if they see these outside smokes and some presence. So they could do some kind of outside fake next gun round and just hit upper. Take the 3v1.
Let's see if we can get that adjustment. Now it's just me, Creek Town, or Mr. Broky. That ramp looks like actually he's going to take some damage. He's going to have to pull back a little bit. Olofmeister pulled away from outside to cover the rotation, and then being pulled away, Dupree is able to sneak up behind him, and he's going to hear all the running up those rungs. Don't think he can run up a ladder, but
I bet you can.
Get him! Oh, that's so awkward. Manages to pull it off though. Oh wow, he's actually going to get taken down here. Now the Deagle comes into play. Some damage being done here by Astralis. They've had a few opportunities. All because of that ramp pressure previously, pulling Olofmeister in. They actually have the lower bomb site now. Uh-oh.
Just in time, Cold. Where is the last player? Oh, it's 1v1 territory. Glaive not bothering with the weapon, just going for the play. He's not expecting Cold to just hold the bomb. He's a non-believer, Cold. A brazen play from him.
That's crazy.
I mean, it makes sense. You're used to it. You make the running sound to bait somebody off the bomb. Cold's been there before. And he will not come off the defuse.
It's a good gamble too, because he has no health, so...
Yeah. Yeah, if Glaive knew that, I think he peeks.
His best chance of winning the round is to hold the bomb. After the initial touch, who the hell knows. Although Glaive was going into the vent, and I guess he was expecting a peek. It's a long way around to decon where the bomb isn't planted for. So here's that fast play into the vent, in fact. Dupree and Glaive take some damage, but they've got position. They have 5 people alive. And there's minimal time to respond to this. Not one, but two players successfully down the vent. Decon is open, but will there be utility towards the ramp? Glaive's in control, and they slow things down, Astralis.
Using their utility now to try to get the positions and actually...
he got baited hard, bro.
Yep. Forcing him into one angle, taking him down. Committing cold to a full spray, dodging back behind cover. It's not a good feel for FaZe right now. Rain will find one on the flank, but lots more work to be done because the bomb is rotated upper. Astralis really keeping FaZe on their toes. It's a classic maneuver, force everyone down lower. Now they're all out of position as you get a fast rotation upper. Bomb has been planted. It's a rough look for FaZe right now.
Rain's in heaven with flashes. Nico with a Molotov. I don't know if he's going to have an angle really to use it. Slowly coming up the ladder as well. It's hard to do a pot flash up here because you've got to bounce it off something, and that can be heard. Although with that one, you can face with it. Maybe the better approach. Can't get a two-man spray down, and that will be the end of that. 16-9 for Astralis. I don't know if the score tells the whole story, really, because of how dominant it was in the first half from Astralis, but they do close it out on the T side.
Yeah, after that first half, you kind of feel like for Astralis, like they know they're going to win eventually. So just going through the motions. But yeah, I think it was a story, I think, of FaZe struggling on their T side pretty enormously. I think Valente, you pointed out that it was a bit half-baked, that T side.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because FaZe has those players, right, that can play that mid-round. They just weren't getting into many of them. So it looks worse than it could have been, just because they're getting shut down in the early part. Glee was doing a great job outside. He was teleporting to ramp as well. So I think it just, when you have players like Olaf, Cold, and Rain, and even Nico that have so much experience, they want to get into the mid round, and they just couldn't against Astralis. That was the story of their T side.
Glaive no clipping around the map is going to be a problem for any opponents. And here are the scores on the doors. Glaive heading towards 3,000 damage mark, almost 2,800. It is a high output from him, 24 for 15. A good day at the office, but the day continues after Nuke. We've got more Counter-Strike to come. Nuke was the pick of Astralis, and the pick of FaZe is Dust2. That's coming up shortly. Again, if you're just joining us, it is 419 days since we could draw on the map. Tomorrow it'll be 420, but for now, we will move on to Dust2. But first, a break back here in a few minutes.